Madhavan Jayo Kunja Bihari Radha Madhavan Jayo Radha Madhavan Jayo Kunja Bihari. Play fast. No? Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Yashodanandana Jayo Rajajanaranjana Jayo Rajajanaranjana Yashanavalla Jayo Yashodanandana Jayo Rajajanaranjana Jayo Rajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Jayo Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Book? Ay, Prabhu have book. Deva brother. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we will be reading from third canto, chapter 15, entitled Description of the Kingdom of God, text 10. Esha Deva Aditer Garbham Esha Deva Aditer Garbham Oja Kashyapam Arpitam Oja Kashyapam Arpitam Dishastimirayan Sarvam Dishastimirayan Sarvam Vardate Gnir Ivadihasi Vardate Gnir Ivadihasi Esha Deva Aditer Garbham Oja Kashyapam Arpitam Dishastimirayan Sarvam Vardate Gniri Vaidahasi. Prabhus. Mataji's. Kindly repeat after me. Eshaha, this, Deva, O Lord, Ditehe, of Diti, Garbhaha, womb, Ojaham, semen, Kashyapam, of Kashyapa, Arpitam, deposited, Dishaham, directions, Timirayan, causing complete darkness, Sarvaham, all. Vardate, overloads. Agnihi, fire. Ivam, as. Edasi, fuel. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. As fuel overloads a fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. Purport. The darkness throughout the universe is explained herewith as being caused by the embryo created in the womb of Diti by the semen of Kashyapa. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sarva Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Shri Radha Krishna Bhyam Namaha. My humble obeisances to all assembled Vaishnavas with blessings of Shri Gauranitai, Rukmini Dwarakadish and Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. We will speak from the foundational scripture of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas as declared by Lord Chaitanya himself in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is saying that Bhagavat Purana is Pradhana Shastra, foundational scripture from which one is to be understood all other scriptures. And he is coming to teach especially this scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam. He is called Bhagavat Pracharaka, the promoter of mellows of devotional service, written in Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore he is saying, Shri Bhagava Rasa Tattva Prachara Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Janaila Samsara, where we see the real purpose of his descent into this world and explaining Srimad Bhagavatam to his disciples and also enacting as per Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is saying that he came to promote the mellows of devotional service, explaining Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Bhagavad Rasa Tattva Prachara, because Srimad Bhagavatam is no different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. And Janaila Samsara, by giving this Rasa Tattva to living beings of this world, he is liberating and empowering with power of Bhakti Shakti, people who are coming in touch with devotees who are already infected, to say, with that same Bhagavat Rasa Tattva. So it's wonderfully presented by Srila Prabhupada in his books Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu, which explains this Rasa Tattva in most beautiful and approachable way for the people of contemporary world. So in Srimad Bhagavatam we hear that Lord is embodiment of all rasa. He's Rasamai, and he wants to experience this rasa with his devotees. So like other rasas, he also have desire to fight, and because he is Lord Narayan, no one can be his opponent. In his Vishnu Tattva, no one can be or equal or higher than him in power, Asamurdva. So therefore he desires to come into this world and fight opponents like demons. So that is his desire as Lord Narayan. Therefore he appears as Varahadev and Narsingadev to fight two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So however, his desires were not fulfilled. So therefore he appears as Lord Ramachandra, and as Lord Ramachandra he wanted to experience Sakirasa, to have brothers. And therefore he had Lakshman, Bharata and Shatrughna. However, when he appeared as Nrsimhadev from Pillar, then he was called Stambhaputra, the son of Pillar, so he didn't have mother and father. So he was also not satisfied, so he desired to experience Vatsalya Rasa. Therefore he, in pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, got the mother and father, the Dasharat, as a father and his mother. So then he was not also completely satisfied by forced separation from Sita, and he also didn't like this kind of Sakirasa, which is filled with reverence. And it's also Sakirasa in city, Pura Vayasya. So therefore he desired to have Sakirasa in village, Vrajasakas. Therefore he appeared as Lord Krishna and exhibited pastimes with cowherd boys and also with gopis of Vrindavan in separation, which is not forceful, which is also pleasant, so Vipralamba Seva. However, he was not satisfied even with, completely satisfied with Vrajarasa, interestingly, because we hear the story how he have seen himself in a mirror of lapis lazuli stone, and then started to think. He was actually attracted by himself and started to think from the position of his devotees, especially Radharani, what kind of sweetness she finds in him, what is the glory of Srimati Radharani's love, and what bliss she is experiencing while serving him. So these three were the desires to fulfill, to understand. These three he appeared as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore the Navadvip Lila is natural extension and pastime of Vraja Lila, where Lord Chaitanya, where actually Lord Krishna, who is Avatari, becomes Mahapurna Avatari, the one who accepts the role of Srimati Radharani, accepts the role of his Kladini Shakti. In that way, the scriptures are saying that this is Paratattva Sima, the ultimate limit of all reality. That Purusha, Parama Purusha, Purushottama have accepted the role of Prakriti because he wanted to experience to become devotee. And therefore he appeared as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preaching this all around the world through his devotees. He said, Prema rasa niryasa korite asvadana, raga marga bhakti loke korite pracharana. That he have come to taste the mellows of love of Godhead. Prema rasa niryasa korite asvadana. Asvadati means to relish, to taste. And Raga Marga Bhakti, korite loke pracharana. In other incarnations, like Varaha, Nrsimha, or Rama, I have already established Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, but now I want to give Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, which brings to Goloka Vrindavan. And interestingly, he didn't appear in Navadvip only, with very few close friends like Panchatattva, but he appeared with many of his followers. And along with him appeared, as we know, the Hiryaksha and Hirakashipu, Jaga and Madai. And even here mentioned the father of these two twins. Kashyapa appeared in Navadvip. Someone knows who would be Kashyapa in Navadvip? Kashyapa in Navadvip. Okay, yeah, I'll help you. His consort was Aditi, which appeared, and she appeared in the form of Shachimata, along with Yashoda, Devaki, and maybe one more person. So she appeared as per Gora Ganodesh Dipika, and also Sutapa and Prishni. They also appeared in Jagannath Mishra and Shachimata. And interestingly also, Rukmini appeared in Gora Lila. Rukmini Dwarakadish is here, and also Satyabhama as well appeared in Gora Lila, because when they were in Dwaraka, same like Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra, Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra, they were hearing how Devaki was narrating the stories of Krishna in Vraja. They also heard these stories, and they desired to perfect their bhakti. They realized that this is higher bhakti because it's not tinged with that feeling of enjoyment of beloved. So Rukmini also appeared as Lakshmi Priya, the first wife of Lord Gauranga, and then Bhudevi, which is mentioned in Varaha Katha, appeared as Vishnu Priya, along with Sita Devi, Sita Devi appeared in Lakshmi Priya with Rukmini, but Bhushakti alone is Vishnu Priya. And interestingly, Satyabhama appeared as Jagadananda Pandit to say in her sadhaka deha to achieve Vrajarasa through that. So all these the great devotees, they appear along with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come closer to Vrajarasa. Even Jayadev Goswami was instructed in dream to appear in Puri to come closer with devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and relish their association, be empowered to enter Vraja Lila. So Lord Chaitanya and his followers especially then describe what would be the method, the sadhana, how to enter Vraja Lila, and therefore they wrote many Rasa Shastras to explain that, especially Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and last time we were mentioning Nataka Chandrika, which beautifully explains how different stories are unfolding. It's Vedic dramaturgy from the pen of Rupa Goswami. So he explains there that every story have a Nayaka, the hero, and here the hero we see is Lord Varahadev in Varaha Katha, but every story also have Pratinayaka, the opponent, the villain, the inimical person, without whom actually there would be no scope for heroism. So predominant rasa in this story, I believe that many have heard this story, so I will not go into details. I'll just try to explain through Nataka Chandrika. So the predominant rasa or the mellow in this story is Yuddha Vira Rasa. it is heroism or chivalry. And especially, it's not ordinary Vira, ordinary heroism, but it's Yuddha Vira. They have desire to fight. Varahadev and Hiranyaksha. And the other Gauna rasas in the story are Adbhuta rasa, because everyone was amazed how Lord Varaha appeared from the nose of Lord Brahma and he became larger and larger. So it's Adbhuta rasa. Then Bibhatsa rasa discussed when they saw how Lord Varahadev have smashed Hiranyaksha and how so much blood was there. Everyone was disgusted with that. However, the hidden rasa and of the most importance for Gaudiya Vaishnavas is Madhurya rasa, the relationship between Varahadev and Bhudevi. Because Lord finally came to save Bhudevi. He didn't just came to fight with Hiranyaksha. His primary reason, as per Bhagavad Gita, is to protect his devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samstapanartaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. So first he appeared to save the Bhudevi, and we see from one act, it said that when he appeared there, first he saved and consoled Bhudevi. First saved and consoled Bhudevi, and then started to fight with Hiranyaksha on the Garbhodaka ocean. So first Paritranaya sadhanam, then Vinashaya cha dushkritam, and then the last one is Dharma samstapanartaya, because why the whole story happened is because Swayambhuva Manu complained to Lord Brahma that now the Bhumandala have synced and I don't have a place to perform yagya. If I don't perform yagya, then demigods will not be satisfied. Human beings will not get protection and place to do yagya. So whole world will be in the chaos. So where can I perform yagya? So in order to do Dharma samstapanartaya, then Lord have appeared, fought with Hiranyaksha, saved Bhudevi, and then finally yagya was done. And also these stories indicating the purpose of life is sacrifice. The universe started with sacrifice. When in primary creation, Adidevatas wanted to expand the creation and they needed to do some sacrifice. For that they approached Lord Vishnu and they asked him, what can we do? And then he said, now I want to be sacrificed first. So they have tied him and sacrificed him. So the Lord is the one who sacrificed the first. So the whole creation expands because of sacrifice. If you want something in life, if you want to expand in life, we need to sacrifice. Lord had a desire to fight and save Bhudevi and did re-establish the Dharma. In this special story, as we said, it's about Virarasa. It is about chivalry. And sometimes we think that predominant rasas are Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. But however, sometimes they are subordinate as per Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is called Angi and Anga Rasa. Angi Rasa is main and Anga is secondary. For example, when friends gather, it's Sakya Rasa is predominant. That's Angi Rasa. But Anga Rasa is something which nourishes that relationship, just like Hasya Rasa. Friends come together and then they laugh, or they go for a sport, or they help someone, compassion, Karuna Rasa, etc., etc. So that is generally the case. However, sometimes the Anga Rasa can become prominent, like Vira Rasa. Over here, Lord Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, they experience Vira Rasa, although may not be in pure devotion, because the Hiranyaksha is concealed, his knowledge is concealed of the Lord. So it's not, pure Vira Bhakti Rasa. However, it's still Vira Rasa, and Lord is reciprocating with him in that way, because in essence, he is devotee. Both Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, as we know, Jai and Vijay. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is explained that such a Angarasa can be of 4 types: Yuddha Vira Rasa, chivalry, then Dana Vira Rasa, mercy, giving donations, then Daya, compassion, we help someone, someone is in trouble, so we compassionately help him. And last one is Dharma Vira Rasa, the person who is glorified for proper execution of his duties, like in Varnashram or in devotional service, etc. So Krishna likes to experience these kind of rasas, and he can experience them either directly by himself, with his opponent, or as a spectator. So Srila Prabhupada nicely explained this in Nectar of Devotion. So I will read a couple of examples which Srila Prabhupada writes from Krishna Lila. Krishna as the opponent in Yuddha Vira Rasa. Excuse me. A friend once challenged Krishna Das, "My dear Madhava, you are very restless because you think that no one can defeat you. But if you don't flee from here, then I shall show you how I can defeat you." And remember, these are boys. Boys always act like this. "And my friends will be very satisfied to see this." So you see, they're threatening Krishna, and Krishna will flee from there. So Krishna likes this, to experience that kind of opposition. Srila Prabhupada gives another example. Krishna and Sridhama were very intimate friends. Yet Sridhama, out of anger with Krishna, challenged him. When both of them began to fight, all the friends on the bank of Yamuna enjoy the wonderful fighting of the two friends. And then Krishna as the spectator. Just a moment. It's described like this. Srila Rupa Goswami describes that Krishna's hair stood on end as he witnessed the heroic fighting skills of Sridhama, who dexterously whirled a pole to deflect the arrows being shot at him. So they were very skillful in their fighting. This is an example of Krishna enjoying Yuddha Vira Rasa as spectator. Srila Prabhupada writes, such mock fighting generally takes place among chivalrous persons and creates wonderful excitement for all viewers. So we see even in this world people like this fighting. For example, people go to see MMA fights or boxing or even street fight. People are impressed by that. So it's something which comes originally from spiritual world, and Krishna experiencing this, and we as his parts and parcel, we also like to be spectators in this. So Krishna is experiencing rasa both directly and indirectly, and if you ask me, it's better to do indirectly because you can get punched in if it's not indirect. And in scriptures, sometimes the reader or a listener, he can enjoy better rasa than one who was really there. The Hiranyaksha didn't actually enjoy like we enjoy when we hear, that he was defeated and his head was smashed, and we celebrate how Lord Varahadev have won, but he didn't enjoy. So rasa is not always over there within that person. he experienced Vira Rasa, but he may not enjoy it and relish just like we do as devotees of Krishna. So in Rasa theory, Rasa Samagri, the components of Rasa are explained. And first of them is Vibhava. Vibhava includes Alamban, the Ashraya and Vishaya of Rasa, the object of that Rasa, the beloved, and the Ashraya, the lover. So in this story, obviously, the Vishaya, the object, is Lord Varahadev, and the holder of that Rasa is Hiranyaksha. However, he doesn't have that bhakti, so devotees are enjoying more as ashraya of that bhakti of Vira Rasa. And Srila Prabhupada explains many wonderful points about components of rasa over there, just like that Anubhav, that after two persons are fighting, that Anubhav is just like pulling the weapon. Someone have desire to fight, and then he pulls the weapon. Because Anubhav is the symptom of internal sattvika bhava. Like someone have that constitutional nature to fight. When he pulls the weapon, means that is his Anubhava. However, for the opponent, when he sees that someone is attacking him, for him this is udipan to fight. It's not Anubhava, it's not his nature. He may be fighting in defense or so. So for him is udipan for that. So for one person that can be, Anubhava, his nature, but for another person that can be just defense. He may not relish it that much. So, and also Srila Prabhupada explains this Yuddha Utsaha Rati. Utsaha means the enthusiasm for fight. Naturally is there in boys. It's interestingly how Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the best description of human psychology. It will describe human psychology to deepest and most obvious level. So over there it said that this Utsaha Rati naturally exists in boys, and there are 4 kinds of them. One is when, just to remind myself, when one fights by himself, but he is fighting because of his defending himself. Another one is he fights by himself, but he's instigating the fight. Then he's fighting in the team, but he's challenged. And the last one, he's fighting in a team, but he's provoking the fight. And then there are also a couple of examples given by Srila Prabhupada over here, again with Kauhra boys. So first one is he fights by himself and he starts the fight. So I remember when we were growing as boys, no one liked these boys who provoke fights, isn't it? We will not consider them they are kind of good or pious or anything. These boys are bad. However, in Krishna Lila, let's see how this sounds. Once Sridhama challenged Bhadrasena and said to him, my dear friend, you needn't be afraid of me yet. I shall first of all defeat our brother Balarama, then I shall beat Krishna, and then I shall come to you. So it's explained Sridham is starting the fight and he wants to fight each person one-on-one. Then the next example, when person fights in, excuse me, we are missing one. Yeah, he fights by himself after being challenged. After being reprimanded by his father, Stoka Krishna stopped fighting with Krishna. But Krishna continued to challenge him. And thus, in order to meet the challenge, Stoka Krishna took his pole and began to display his dexterity by whirling it. So Krishna was provoking Stoka Krishna despite, father stopped them. That happens also among kids, Parents come, they stop them, but they still continue to fight. Then fighting in team. So a person fights in a team after being challenged or encouraged. After being challenged by Sridham, Bhadrasena teamed up with Krishna to defeat Sridham and his friends. In another example, Varutapa teamed up with his friends after being challenged by Krishna. Example of fourth, Yuddha Utsaharati. He fights in a team and he starts the fight. One of the friends once remarked, Sudama is trying his best to see Damodar defeated. And I think that if our powerful Subala joins him, there will be a very, very beautiful combination, like a valuable jewel bedecked with gold. So we see how the original desire to fight in different ways comes from Krishna Lila and his experience with Sakats. However, Krishna cannot fight, with them, like in full capacity. Therefore, he appears here in this world, and along with him comes his followers, Jai and Vijay, and then they become opponents of him that they can fight till full capacity. And however, that may not be, from their side because of full bhakti, because it's explained that priti is missing. Therefore, for them to reach perfection, they need to be reborn, even in Rama Lila, then in Krishna Lila, they entered, the Vraja pastimes. However, Shishupal have hated Krishna, and therefore he needed to also appear in Navdev Lila as Jaga and Madai. So therefore, in this verse 10, it's interestingly describing in the prayers of demigods to Brahma one what is called Upama. Upama is in Kavya one of the figures of speech. Along with Upama is comparison, then Rupaka is metaphor, Dipaka is condensed expression, Yamaka is also one kind of expression which I forgot, but the Upama means to compare different objects which have many similarities. And the number of similarities can be 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to many, or many to 1. Just like if we compare Krishna's face, it's just like a moon or like a lotus. It's 1 to 1. Or horses on Arjuna chariots are strong like elephants. So it's many to many. So here there is a comparison as fuel overloads a fire. So the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. So it's a upama, the comparison of fire overloaded with fuel. So what happens? The smoke comes, because the fire starts to distinguish and smoke comes and everything is timira, is dark. Therefore here he said, Dishas Timirayan. The all directions were dark, in darkness. So this comparison is showing that actually how the womb of Diti was actually polluted by these two embryos which are not conceived in proper time. So it is also indirect lesson for all devotees to perform samskaras for their children. And because otherwise they may fight with Krishna. Their children may fight with Krishna instead of serving Krishna. So as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we strive for performing Bhagavat Vidhi, direct devotional service of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and Pancharatrika Vidhi, the deity worship along with our lifestyle, but also Vaidika Vidhi, which includes performance of samskaras. So we hear in this story how Garbhadana samskara was not done at the proper time, and therefore the result was bad, and the titi of appearance of these two personalities wrong. And generally, if child is conceived on proper time, the titi of birth will be nice, and then it's obvious in the Jataka, the chart, that person is having some religious tendencies. Jupiter is nice, moon is nice, mind is nice, and sun is nice, the Atma is purified, etc., etc. So, along with Bhagavad Vidhi, is good to do samskaras. There is 16 samskaras from Vivaha to Antyeshti. This is the cycle of life described in Vedas. Vivaha, the marriage, then Garbhadana, conception of a child, Garbhadana samskara, then Pumsavana, right to get male child, then Shimantanayana, the right for safe delivery, Shimantanayana, then Jata Karma, when child is born, for the prosperity of a child, then Namakarana, giving a name to child, Namakarana, Nishkramana, taking child outside, Annaprashna, feeding the child with grains, with Anna, then Annaprashna, then Karnaveda, piercing the ears, then is Vidyaramba, starting the education, then Upanayana, becoming Dvija, second birth, then Keshanta, when man first time shaves, around 16 years of age, it's also a ceremony. So we see how these things are not something superficial. They are not just sacraments. They're naturally crafted so that a human being can have good experience of these important parts of the life, and from that experience and impression he will continue with dignity and performance of Dharma. So after Upanayana we have Keshanta, we have Samvarta, when person is graduating, and then he is eligible to become a citizen of the world with all rights. Just like nowadays person goes to school or college, then at the age of 18 or 21 he becomes adult, and then he can get all rights. So in the Vedic situation, Vedic civilization, they also do that, and we as Gaudiya Vaishnavas have a wonderful book called Satkriya Saradipika, done by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who have made this book on instruction of Lord Chaitanya. And this book is not, although it is Grihya Sutra, the domestic rights, it's not about worship of demigods, but Gopal Bhatta Goswami have shown how to substitute the worship of demigods with devotees of the Lord. So therefore, when we do any kind of yagya, we don't offer to demigods, but we offer to pure devotees, and through them offerings are done to Krishna. So many things could be said, but with this I will stop and ask if there is any comment or any question. All right then, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, I will leave you tomorrow and hope to come soon. I hope to meet you also in India, in Mayapur or anywhere else. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhupada.